Men tacos are the best.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Yes, whatever.
When next fall comes around at the end of the day.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
My cat rocks.
Isn't that cool that I get to work freight on Thursday?
Well, yeah, by the time Kelly and you have to work up in camping.
Are you guys
Yeah,
It's legal.
And
All right. All right. I want you all to think about something. Even if you already have a child or do not plan on having children, just picture this situation. It is time and you are going to have a child. Would you pick the gender of it if you had the chance? All of us in the United States have the choice to select the gender of our baby through sex selection. The cost of this is about $18,000 according to Rebecca Loong in an article published by CBS News. I've done extensive research on gender selection and feel that I am able to speak to you about this topic. Gender selectivity is unethical and harmful and should not be done. Today we examine 3 arguments in support of sex selectivity and reasons why these arguments are flawed. Arguments are freedom of choice, parents' reproductive rights, and how gender selectivity will reduce abortion rates and abandonment rates. Before we begin looking at these arguments, let's listen quick to a short clip about gender selectivity by MD Stuart Fishback.
Found me online at my website, which is birthinginstincts.com, and I'm here today on behalf of About.com to discuss can you choose your baby's sex. Ultimately, you really can't make the choice. There are processes that can be done called sex selection. All right, those are things that are done in the laboratory where sperm are spun, and they try to get the female sperm versus the male sperm, and they may offer you a 70 or 75% success rate in getting the sex that you want. The truth is that it costs money, it's sort of messing with Mother Nature, and unless you are really desperate to increase your odds of getting the sex of your choice, I would not recommend it. Another laboratory option, which...
Alright, now let's look at this first argument. We all have freedom of choice. According to Article 16 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone is entitled to the right to make a family and decisions over how the family is formed and so on. The International Debate Education Association suggests that the writers of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights did not foresee gender selectivity as an option. Also, harm is done by others in the process of sex selectivity and will result in gender imbalance. Gender stereotyping and discrimination will be reinforced if we are allowed to select the sex. According to ABC News, women are already seen as less valuable in many cultures, and sex selectivity will result in a larger opposition of women. One thing the Universal Declaration of Human Rights did enforce is equal treatment and statuses of women, something that won't be upheld if gender selectivity is done. Now that we have talked about the freedom of choice, let's move on to the next argument. Choosing the sex of your baby is part of everyone's choosing the sex of your baby is part of everyone's reproductive rights. Children will fit into their families' dreams and be loved more if their gender is desired by their parents. In a survey of 2,500 students done by Melbourne Newsroom, although parents spend enormous amounts of their time and money on their children, the majority of respondents felt concern about their creation of designer infants when parents should just be happy with a healthy baby no matter what the gender is. Children are not toys. They are not meant to be designed to specific qualifications, most convenient to the owner. If we allow parents to choose their gender, soon some will want to choose their hair color, eye color, what size they are, how tall they're going to be, anything like that. This is only the beginning. In allowing this, we are encouraging false ideas of perfection. We really should be encouraging the idea that when it comes to children, you get what you are given. Otherwise, people will demand more and more ability to change their kids and be more likely to reject their own child when they get exactly what they want. It's the story of life. We as Americans are always seeking more. Gender selectivity is only beginning to more refined options. Now, let's look at the third argument. Many believe the use of gender selectivity reduces abortion rates. Abortion is a waste of life and dangerous for the mother involved, and gender selectivity can reduce this. According to New York Times, the cost of sex selectivity is so high and will more than likely remain so that the cheaper option of abortion will not reduce, like most people believe. Actually, abortion will become more common because gender selectivity is the act of throwing away human life because the parents prefer the other gender. So in using abortion or using gender selectivity, a potential life is taken. When interviewing a close friend named Amber Marsden, she reported that her abortion resulted in simply not wanting the child. It had nothing to do with the sex of the child, and it also had to do with the cheapness of abortions. She also said that most abortions are a result of just wrong timing of a child or not wanting children, not because the child is a certain sex. So therefore, just because of sex does not mean that abortion rates are going to drop if people are allowed to choose it. Gender selectivity is unethical, harmful, and expensive, therefore should not be used. Today we looked at 3 arguments in favor of gender selectivity and reasons why these arguments are not legit. Children are a gift, and to be opened without knowing its contents or features. When you were picturing of the future prospect of having a child, did you imagine knowing every single thing or every single feature of what the child is going to be like? Or did you picture being in shock and awe because the first time you saw them, it was just a surprise and all their details were unknown and left to the imagination? Thank you.